Thank you, Minister, this question asks if the potential for indigenous job creation in the offshore wind energy sector in the supply of tender vessels and crew has been assessed by your department. And this is in relation to the potential to provide for boats and crews in the construction and ongoing maintenance of offshore wind turbines, which I believe is very significant, and I think that steps need to be started to be taken now to ensure that Irish companies can avail of these opportunities if and when these projects go to construction.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. Number 5.
Las Concordia, the Offshore Renewable Energy Development Plan, which I published last month, identifies the opportunity for Ireland of realising the potential of our offshore energy resources for increasing indigenous production of renewable energy, thereby contributing to reductions in greenhouse gas emissions, improving the security of our energy supply and creating jobs in the green economy, especially in coastal communities where job creation faces particular challenges. The strategic environmental assessment carried out for the OREDP found that it would be environmentally sustainable for 4,500 megawatts of offshore wind to be developed in Irish waters in the period to 2030. The OREDP will provide the mechanism through which action across government departments and agencies to support the development of offshore renewable electricity generation can be fully coordinated in areas such as environmental monitoring, research and development, consenting procedures, infrastructure requirements and enterprise development, including the potential for local job creation in construction, maintenance, supply of materials and equipment, including offshore surveying, transportation and installation vessels and associated manpower. There will also be opportunities to develop new products across information technology, remote communications and software. All relevant state agencies, particularly in the enterprise area, will have to coordinate their activities to ensure the employment potential of offshore projects is maximised. This opportunity has already been identified by the IDA and Enterprise Ireland in their clean technology growth strategies. My department and I will work with the Minister for Jobs to put in place an appropriately led and resourced programme to ensure that domestic companies avail of local opportunities for a period and are well placed to explore opportunities to internationalise their operations. As highlighted in the OREDP, the potential for the offshore wind energy sector to contribute to EU energy needs beyond 2020 and provide jobs has been recognised, notably in the European Commission's Blue Growth Study. Economic analysis carried out for the Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland indicates that 3 construction job years per megawatt of offshore wind deployed with 0.6 jobs per megawatt in ongoing operations and maintenance of offshore installations.
Dr. Thomas Pringle.
Thank you, Minister. I'd like to thank you for your response. And while your last comments there does outline the significant job potential that there is, I believe that we have to gear up to be able to avail of those opportunities, and particularly in the supply of vessels to work on the construction phase. It's estimated that in one of the projects proposed at the moment that up to 40 vessels would be required, which provides huge potential, because I know there's a number of boatyards in this country that would be in a position to be able to construct those vessels, and if they were geared up for it and encouraged to go for that level of business, which is very significant. And in terms of providing crew, there's also a lot of very highly trained and skilled ex-fishermen and current fishermen in this country who currently are actually working in the UK and Germany on these very projects, which would need minor upskilling to allow them to develop further and to be able to avail of these opportunities as well. And I just ask, Minister, will your department be driving this and coordinating this and making sure that it happens, or is this something that's just going to sit in the ether and wait for somebody to actually pick it up and run with it?
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Well, Las Concordia, I think if the Deputy gets an opportunity to study the OREDP plan, which I published last month, he will see that there are a lot of actions at my door that will have to be driven in the years ahead. I mean, the area of ocean energy, of course, is, much wider than purely the offshore wind aspect. I mean, wave and tidal are still at the research stage, but we do have uniquely propitious resources in that area. You know, I'm also interested to do anything that we can do to get the rate of exploration activity offshore, to get the rate of exploration activity and appraisal, to get that rate up. And again, the likes of Killybegs would be well suited to accommodate that, because I understand it's a deep port. As Deputy Pringle says, there is available local labour with skills in the broad area. And I think one of the attractions of the OREDP plan is that it very much holds out a prospect for coastal communities that wouldn't otherwise have the prospect of employment.
Deputy Pringle.
Thanks, Minister. Just if we could ask, I mean, is it your department that's going to be driving this in the delivery of the opportunities, or who is actually going to be responsible to deliver the outcomes, and particularly in relation to the potential for job creation and indigenous jobs to be provided? I think that's going to be the key point, that somebody is driving it.
Final reply, Minister.
I think we discussed that. We discussed that at Cabinet last Concordia when I brought the memorandum on the OREDP. And you know, Deputy Pringle's question is pertinent because the situation has always been somewhat disparate, to put it mildly. I mean, my department has the role that we know about, but so does the Minister for Marine have a role, so does the Minister for Transport have a role, so does the Minister for Jobs have a role. And you know, there was emphasis on Cabinet on the necessity for the ministers concerned to get together and see what progress that we can make. And I'm certainly determined that that should be the case, and I am and have been in discussions with my colleagues about the future in this area.